Okay, we all know that the X-Men is one of the greatest teams of all time. I first found out about the X-Men through the movies. And I love and hate these movies because the way it makes you perceive like the other X-Men that's not Wolverine and that Magneto and Professor X. Like deadass, these movies made me think that this nigga Cyclops was a boring bum ass nigga. Like this had me thinking that Wolverine was like the main character of the X-Men and that the rest are just side characters. Before I actually like delved into like the X-Men and shit, this nigga Wolverine already had like 2 movies. So I'm like, yeah, this nigga clearly like the main nigga. And I thought that until like I watched some cartoons and I like watched like a shit ton of like comic book YouTube videos, and I thought, damn, Wolverine's not the most important nigga on the team. He's not even the best nigga on the team for real. So a couple years ago, I started my Marvel journey because I'm more of a DC guy. I've definitely read and invested in more DC than Marvel. So I read the original X-Men run, and all I gotta say is, if you want to start to read X-Men, do not start with that. Start with Giant Size X-Men, then go straight to Claremont's run, because oh my god, that was just not a good start. And this video is mainly talking about Claremont's era of X-Men because I want to do a video on like each era after I read it. I'm going to talk about Uncanny X-Men, a little bit of X Factor, not the Peter David run because, you know, I'm going to save that for like the 90s X-Men video I'm going to make. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the New Mutants before Rob Liefeld ruined it. And I'm not going to talk about Excalibur because I have a whole video talking shit about it. Also, I'm shiny hunting a Deoxys as I'm making this video. It has no correlation on this video at all, but I just wanted to say it because I can. Now, Claremont's X-Men starts off so good because it introduces you to all the new characters and the old ones, but then it get rid of the old characters, to have more room for the new characters to grow. But like half of them comes back in like a couple issues, like Havoc, Polaris, and Jean come back, while Iceman and Angel, they go off and star in boring books like The Champions, which is a terrible team. Why the fuck is these niggas a group together? And the other boring book was The Defenders, which is, again, I have to say, a terrible team, but honestly, only this version is terrible. The others was okay. Now, back to the X-Men. Now, this is a book that, like, there really isn't, like, no main plot for real. It's just them going on adventure after adventure. Because like the main focus of this book is just building up the new characters and like giving some more character to the old ones. But the main plot of each issue at the start of this series is like something either boring or stupid. But like the main like focus about it is like the character interactions and stuff, and seeing how each character is built off each other. Okay, like this next section of this video, I'm just going to be talking about every big storyline that happened in Claremont's era of X-Men. Then after that, I'm going to talk about the characters. Now, I'm not going to go super in depth in these storylines because I don't feel like doing that. I'm just going to be talking about like a brief summary of what happens in this arc, or in how I feel about it, and how like the storyline affects the series going forward. Now, the first like X-Men storyline and what like actually picks up the series is the Phoenix and Dark Phoenix sagas. Now, the Phoenix/Dark Phoenix saga is just a good story. It's not long, it's simple. There's no tie-ins that fucks it up. And it has like a lot of good character moments. It might not be like my favorite like story, but it's a good story. And after this storyline, Claremont started creating a lot of new characters for the X-Men. He creates Kitty Pryde, Dazzler, Emma Frost. And Kitty getting created is probably one of the best things that happened because it gives like a breath of fresh air to the roster with Jean dead and all. Which brings us to Days of Future Past, Kitty's like big storyline that I hate with all my heart. When I first read this, I was hyped up because like, okay, I fuck with the Days of Future Past movie. So I was excited to see like what the comic version like was like. Now, after I read this story, I was like, okay, like this was okay. And then I just kept it pushing because like the only things I liked about the story was seeing this like, bad future, like what could happen. Like, this could happen if the anti-mutant propaganda like gets out of hand. And another thing I like was seeing the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, like Mystique finally becoming an X-Men villain instead of being a Miss Marvel villain, and Avalanche, Pyro, and Destiny be making their first appearances, and Blob returning. But yeah, besides that, this storyline was kind of just to me. The reason I hate this storyline is because this is the start of X-Men writers putting unnecessary fucking time travel storylines in their stories. And like 90% of them makes zero fucking sense. The only good things that the Days of Future Past like timeline shit gave us is Rachel Summers. But yeah, after this storyline, we get a shit ton of new characters. We get the New Mutants, we get, like I said again, Rachel Summers. They introduce Forge. They make the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants into the Freedom Force. I have a decent amount of shit to talk about before we talk about like the next event for the X-Men. Like, Rogue gets introduced in the Avengers Annual, stealing Miss Marvel's powers after the whole, Avengers 200 situation, which deadass might be like the worst comic Marvel has ever produced. But yeah, Rogue, she's introduced and she's like a villain for a little bit. And she joins the team just to like get a fix on her powers. And like Miss Marvel becomes an X-Men for a little bit. Then she like becomes binary and leaves the X-Men to join Cyclops' dad space group. Like, a lot of stuff happened that I can't really even talk about all of it. Like, none of the stories that happened during this time is like amazing, but they're either good or okay. Like, the character interactions carry a lot of the stories, but there's still some good shit during this time. Like the creation of the New Mutants. Like, I didn't enjoy the stories that happened with the New Mutants during this time, but I love the characters. Like, I fuck with all the New Mutants. Besides like Karma, because that as her storylines and her character kind of just boring. It's just that every time she has a storyline, I generally just do not give a fuck about it. But yeah, anyways, the New Mutants, great characters, but the storylines are not the greatest at all. But then after Professor X gets sent into space and everybody think he's dead, and he had his last wish was for Magneto to take over the school for him, since Magneto was on his redemption arc. And Magneto was like a decent teacher sometimes. Like, he had his flaws, but just like Xavier, he had some good moments with the kids. And deadass, I feel like he was a way better mentor to like the kids than Xavier was, especially to Magic. Okay, what else happened before Mutant Massacre? The first ever version of X-Factor is formed, and this might be like the worst book during this time. Actually, no, it's not even a might. It is the worst book during this time. So Jean comes back from the dead in the OG X-Men, Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, Angel. Instead of, telling the other X-Men, they hide this information and form their own group, X-Factor, because they don't want to join the X-Men because, Magneto's leading it. And their whole goal is to, help mutants by acting like mutant hunters so they can, capture the mutants. So these niggas were being fucking stupid and basically propagating mutant hate. Bob Layton and Louis Simonson were the one who was writing this, and they were not cooking with this at all. Like, at least with Claremont, I don't like all his stories that much, but I really fuck with his character interactions and a lot of his character moments. And X-Factor has none of that at all. Like, a lot of the characters in this is so fucking boring, or their entire character gets assassinated. Like Scott. Like, they made this nigga Scott abandoning his wife and child for Jean. The best thing about this version of X-Factor was Artie and Leech. That's it. I forgot also, Bessie Braddock joined the X-Men during this time, and she didn't have the whole psychic knife shit that she has now. Now we can finally talk about the X-Men's first major event, the Mutant Massacre. This event isn't super long, and the tie-ins don't really ruin anything, and they kind of they're just decent tie-ins. Well, I don't know about the Power Pack one because I didn't really read that, but this entire plot is just the Marauders pull up out of nowhere. They start killing and hunting down all the Morlocks, and that's just all the plot. While the X-Men and X-Factor try to stop the Morlocks from getting massacred, with tie-ins with, Daredevil, Thor, and Power Pack. That's it. And I enjoyed this, story. It's not my favorite, but I enjoyed it. What I really liked about it is how brutal it was. The Marauders suck, but this being their first introduction makes them feel like an actual threat, because in this one event they went up against the X-Men, X-Factor, and Thor. Even though Thor was weakened because of Hela, but they was still fucking these niggas up. These niggas crucified Angel. They fucked up half of the X-Men and had them niggas decommissioned for a long ass time. These niggas was so deadly that the Colossus had to get his first kill off of these niggas. What else happened in this arc? Betsy versus Sabretooth was cool because she held her own and she proved to the X-Men that she can be a part of the team. We also got the first ever fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth, which was amazing. The problems I have with this story is the whole X-Men and X-Factor not teaming up. I feel like they should have had them team up after this or during this, because Wolverine even hinted at it by he could smell the X-Factor niggas. But they don't interact with each other the entire event. But anyways, yeah, this was a good event. This is definitely the X-Men event that I've enjoyed the most out of all the X-Men events that I've seen so far. This is my favorite one. Now, the rest of the stories in Claremont's era of X-Men I'm going to talk about in a part 2 of this video, because I don't want this video to be very long. So a part 2 is going to come out very soon. Bye, and I caught that Sean Deoxys, fuck niggas.